Hey everybody, it's Guy, that Kilted Guy DIY home improvement channel here on YouTube, and today what we're going to do is a tool review. We are going to review the Dewalt 60 volt battery, and I'm going to demonstrate it cutting a few different things, and we'll do that right after this. Hey, thanks for stopping by the channel, and as always I appreciate all my subscribers. There is a little subscribe button down below. Be sure and click that and hit that bell icon so that you'll be notified of future videos as we release them. And today what I want to do is we're going to do something a little different with a tool review. Now, we have a wood stove, so we decided to cut our own firewood, and I had a Husqvarna chainsaw that I hadn't used in a few years, and when I went to use it, it just fought me left and right. And so I've been converting a lot of my tools over to cordless tools, including my vacuum cleaner or job site blower. They've got so many, and I've been going to the 20 volt line. Well, they've got these chainsaws in the 60 volt max line, and so I decided to get this and quit fighting with gas chainsaws. Those things, if you don't take really good care of them, maintain them just right, they can bite you. And what actually got me was I went and got some pump fuel, mixed my oil in with it, and it ran like crap, and I found out it was the ethanol in the fuel. I took and replaced it with some non-ethanol fuel, and it ran okay for the first day, and then the lines gummed up anyway, and so now I'm having to rebuild the whole thing, new fuel lines, carburetor cleaning. It's just a real major hassle. These electric things, there's not much that can go wrong, except maybe the battery going bad over time. And this, the huge advantage is that this thing, when you pull the trigger, it starts and runs every time. Now, there's a number of advantages to it, and I'll cover that in a minute, but first I'll show you a picture up here on the screen. We're using the battery that came with it, which is a 60 volt max flex volt. And the cool thing about this is this will also work in a 20 volt tool. It gives you a 9 amp hour battery if you want to use it, so it's pretty flexible. Now, it is kind of a big heavy battery, but you got to have that for this kind of power. So let me get the battery back in here. Now, let's talk about a couple of the advantages to it. One, of course, number one is every time you pull the trigger, it starts. You don't have to pull a cord, fight with that. You don't have a cord that can break. You don't have to mix up fuel and carry it around with you. I've got an SUV. When I travel with a chainsaw, I've got smelly gas inside the vehicle, and I have to carry it in a tote and make sure it doesn't leak, and it's just kind of dangerous, and it stinks. So this, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to have the 2-cycle oil. So that's one other ingredient, the oil and the gas. And let's see, this thing's quiet compared to a gas chainsaw. It's got a little noise to it, but when you're out in the open, there's really no need for hearing protection that I've found. So that's another advantage. It's kind of stealthy, quiet. If you're cutting like we are today in a neighborhood, it's not so annoying to everybody. And just not having to wear hearing protection all day. And that's up to you. You might want to wear it anyway. I just find the noise level is pretty quiet. Let's see. It has some nice features, like to adjust the chain tension. You need to adjust that now and then. Well, all you have to do on this is rotate this knob. Plus tightens it, minus loosens it. Tool free. If you need to get at the innards here to change the chain or anything, that's also tool free. You spin that knob, it undoes it, and pops right off. I've had this off here and cleaned the inside out. As you can see, I've used this thing a few times. Oh, let's see, it has an automatic oiler right here, has a chain brake like it should have, and it comes with a 16-inch bar with an Oregon chain on it. When I first cut with this thing, it cut like butter. It was amazing. I was just grinning ear to ear since I've been fighting my other one so much. So let's see if I can think of anything else. If I'm missing anything, I'll try and pop it up on the screen, but I think that basically covers the saw. Now, the weight, I'm going to pop that up on the screen because I can't remember what it is, but it actually feels comparable to a gas chainsaw. One other nice feature is this little window here. That's your oil, your bar oil, so you can get a visual on how low it's getting without having to pop that open and look all the time. But the balance feels nice to me, and weight just really, like I say, about like a gas chainsaw, so it doesn't bother me. Now, as far as cutting, we're going to cut this log here. This is pinyon, which is a pretty hard wood to cut. It's got a really high BTU rating for burning, but it is a pretty dense wood, and so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But this 4-inch log, it's probably 3.5-inch log. We're going to try that and show you. Then I'm going to go to a bigger log because you'll be surprised what this thing will do. So let's cut this one first. That quick it goes through that, and this is after I've cut, I don't know, it's on its 3rd battery charge, so I've cut probably 150 cuts or so. So it goes through it really well, and just I love it. I tell you, this is the future. Unless you are a professional out there doing this, this is the way to go. Now, as far as how many cuts you can cut, you know, that's going to be really subjective depending on the type of wood you're cutting, the thickness of the log, and so on. I cut for about 2 hours, I think it was, before the battery went dead the first time. So there is that drawback. If you're going to cut a lot of wood, you need 2 batteries. You really do, because it takes 2 hours to recharge this with the charger that comes with it. There is one you can buy that'll charge it faster, but again, that's another expense. So if you're going to do more than just some trimming around the house, invest in a 2nd battery. But it just cut and cut and cut for quite a while, and we did quite a bit. So I'm happy. I'm going to buy that 2nd battery so that we can buy or cut some more in the future and have one charging all the time. And there's a couple of ways to charge out in the field. Our vehicle has a 110 outlet in it, so you can do that if you have that. If not, if you have one of those battery jump starters, you can plug into that and have it charging while you're out cutting. So now I'm going to change over to a bigger log and show you how that cuts. I also want to point out, I'm cutting using my Rockwell jaw horse. This thing is great. It's got really good balance. It holds these logs out here like this without tipping over, and it grips like mad. It just really doesn't let go if you've got a good hold on it. But I did initially, I made a cutting saddle for it, kind of like you might see out, you know, a lot of guys make one out of wood. Well, this is clamped right in here and it works.
I didn't realize you were videotaping. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I shoot YouTube videos, so.
Oh, nice, nice. I see you're cutting up some wood.
Now I want to point out, of course this should be obvious, but when you're doing this kind of stuff, especially with a chainsaw, observe all the proper safety procedures, know your equipment, and that's why I've got on leather gloves, I got on Husqvarna chaps, and eye protection is a good idea too. So be safe when you're doing this. Okay, I've got this bigger log set up here. It's roughly 6 inches from this across this distance here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that cuts. Now that's pretty dang good. I'm telling you, this is pretty close to my little Husqvarna 240. It's got a 16-inch bar also, and I can't really say that it cuts any faster. So I am totally sold on this. If you guys are looking to switch over or purchase a new one, I'd highly recommend this Dewalt. This thing has tons of power for cutting and a lot of great features. So I hope that helped you out. If you got any questions, actually if you got any questions at all, put them in the comments down below. I do try and answer my questions. And if you've ever used another electric chainsaw, let me know how that went, what brand it was, and all. Tell me that in the comments. But otherwise, be sure and click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks a lot.